Welcome, I'm happy you're here, especially since my last video was quite some time ago, and I definitely didn't manage to keep this promise, as I'll try to make these devlogs more frequent, even if... So, since my last video, I've obviously been very busy. I had to clean my desk for the first shot of the video, and with my explanation out of the way, let's get to the meaty part of the video, and make sure you stick to the end for a special sneak peek into the future. Keep in mind that the game is in a more advanced state than the devlogs let you believe. I can't make devlogs fast enough, so I've decided to keep all of the current features open for you to see, and don't worry, each feature will eventually make it into a devlog. Today's topic is a popular one in games: guns and shooting. In the original game, the shooting mechanic was there to help you solve puzzles. You could only have one weapon and you had 3 bullets per level. For the single portion of the game, I plan on keeping the same concept, but with a bit more variety in gun selection. This will go hand in hand with the multiplayer part, where you'll be able to have more guns and they'll play a bigger part in the game loop. What I want to achieve with the gun system is to have 3 weapon types that feel and play different, and are better or worse than the rest, depending on the situation you're in. I've defined 3 classes: pistols, automatic rifles, and snipers. This is all quite standard. Each class needs to excel at something and must feel different than any other class. Pistols don't really excel at anything, so I already broke my rule. But they give you a 007 vibe, so they excel at being cool. They have low damage, but also a low spread when you're not aiming. Automatic rifles are definitely most fun to use. Their fast fire rate makes you feel unstoppable, and they have higher damage, but with a lot of spread when you're not aiming down sight. Sniper rifles, they have the highest damage, but are pretty useless if you run into multiple enemies at close range. There is one more thing I want for my shooting system, and that's different damage depending on where you shoot the enemy. I want this to be separated into 3 categories as well, and that's the head, body and legs. Okay, so with the plan laid out, it's time to get to work. First, I needed a simple shooting script that I can improve on as I go. After some crazy math to figure out where in the game world I'm aiming, I was able to pull it off. I would explain the math to you, but I don't really understand it, but it works, and that's all that matters. Now keep in mind that the first iteration was always shooting the bullets precisely where I clicked in the game world, but we'll have to change that in a bit. Now that I had a basic weapon somewhat working, I needed the system to change my weapon, and each weapon needs to have their own specifications such as name, fire rate, damage output and so on. I've approached this as if I was making an inventory for guns and ammunition count. With scriptable objects, I've defined variables for each weapon and ammunition type. All of this got pretty complex, since there's a lot of things to define, but it all mostly follows the same principle. You make a variable scriptable object, define values, and make sure you use the correct one for the type of weapon you're using. In a similar way, I've achieved the game registering switching weapons. Each time I scroll the mouse wheel, I get the next weapon in the list and it syncs with the corresponding variables of the weapon type. Remember how the shooting script was shooting precisely where I wanted it to? Yeah, we're gonna have to work on that. Make sure each weapon feels different. That's where I've introduced random spray if you're not aiming down sight. Each weapon also has its own fire rate. With the technical part out of the way, let's get to shooting. I bet that's what you're interested in. There is no sound in the game, but I'll do my best to provide you with accurate sound effects.
Pew, 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 pew. Pew, 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 pew.
Now it's time to figure out how to aim down sight. It's not a first-person shooter game, so I had to come up with a different idea. I ended up rotating the camera a bit in the direction you're aiming and also moving it in the same direction. Each weapon would give you a different feel when aiming down sight as well. I've also added an indicator where you're aiming, and I've kept it pink since I'm not sure I like it enough to give it a better color.
Pew, pew, pew. Pew, 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 pew.
And we've finally arrived to the last item on my wish list. Different damage done based on where you've shot the enemy. The only idea I had was to make 3 different colliders. It doesn't work perfectly, but I'll wait till I finish the 3D models before trying to fix it. If anyone has any experience with this and has a different idea, I'm all ears. Before we test the system, let me give you a sneak peek into a 3D model I'm working on. Please keep in mind, I suck at modeling. Yup, told you. Well, let's test the shooting system. I'll just add a couple of hit points to the enemy, so we can really see how the system works.
Pew, pew.
Thank you for watching. The channel has gone to new heights despite my absence, and I really appreciate each and every one of you. If you liked the video, give it a thumbs up. If you really liked it, let me know in the comments. See you in the next one.
Pew.